Hi all! So this is the Craft Talk video on music and sound within poetry. By that, I don't mean some song title that's been mentioned in the poem or lyrics. Rather, it is the music that the poem creates via its words and rhythm. Meter is the official word for rhythm in poetry. It's the heartbeat of a line. What I'm not going to do is go over all the strict meter forms that we've seen in poetry, such as iambic pentameter or iambic tetrameter. What I want you all instead is to listen closely to the stress and unstressed syllables in your lines. This is what makes up meter. When I talk like this, there is a certain meter. It just depends on where you place the stress on syllables. As young writers, meter is not something that will make or break your poem. It can be really difficult to grasp onto, but it can be really important if your poem does have a certain flow in its underbelly and then gets tripped up by a really long winding sentence that muddies up that flow. Sound is also an important part of poetry as well. It's one of our 5 senses. On top of using sounds in description, it's good to pay attention to the sound of your words. Say them out loud. Do these words feel good in the mouth to say? Ways to enhance sound is to think about mirroring consonant sounds, perhaps adding lots of k sounds in your piece, especially if the tone is more biting. As well, mirroring vowels can add auditory pleasure to the poem if we hear lots of long O sounds hidden in a stanza. Many people think this automatically means to rhyme. Sure, yes, rhyme if you want to, but we have come a long way in the poetic craft from needing to rhyme every little thing. Oftentimes I find that writers who adhere to a strict rhyme scheme end up compromising their diction and the content of their poem weakens. I encourage you all to keep it loose if you do choose to rhyme. I also really encourage internal rhyme, rhymes located inside the lines. Maybe you end a poem on the word stationary, or you end the line on the word stationary. In the next line, somewhere in the middle, having a word like elevation poses as a good mirror to that original word stationary. It's not a perfect rhyme, but it shares a lot of the same sounds as stationary. Stationary, elevation, that Asian sound. I think when we do too many perfect rhymes, such as case and face, it can make a poem sound a bit Dr. Seussy and childish, but slant rhymes like case and embracing save us from that. So think about the way your poem sounds. Poems, we look to it visually to stimulate us visually, but it can also stimulate us auditory as well.